Hi, I'm Scott Hamilton, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast after a week of fighting a cold. I hope I don't sound too stopped up today. Today's review is of the brand new film, The Invisible Man. Now, we've talked about Blumhouse Productions before. Jason Blum's company is incredible at taking creative scripts, producing them for very little money, and making hits out of them. Not every movie has knocked it out of the park. This one does. If you say the words The Invisible Man, your mind immediately conjures every single Invisible Man movie and TV show you've ever seen. The scientist with the bandages around his head so he can be seen and all that kind of stuff. Throw all of that out. Every Invisible Man movie up to this one was about the Invisible Man. This movie is not. This movie's about Cecilia, played by Elizabeth Moss, who does a fantastic job in the movie. She carries the entire movie on her shoulders and does an incredible job. Can't say enough about that. Or the great directing and writing from Leigh Whannell. He wrote Saw, he wrote Insidious, he directed Upgrade, which if you haven't seen that movie, go see it immediately. Or rent it, stream it, whatever. But it is based on the H.G. Wells novel, which was a science fiction novel, not really a horror novel, and I wouldn't even call this much of a horror movie. This is a psychological thriller. I will stay away from spoilers. It's about a woman who at the beginning of the movie gets out of an abusive relationship. The abuser apparently commits suicide. She inherits a lot of money and then begins to see things. Is she really seeing these things? Is she really being stalked by an invisible man? Is this all in her head? The movie does a great build-up. You hear people talk about slow burn movies, and I wouldn't really call this one because it starts quick and it goes. And it's a 2-hour movie, and it was incredibly well done. It does get a bit action-packed in the final third, but what I really enjoyed about the movie is Elizabeth Moss and the focus on her character, Cecilia. It's not about the technology. It's not about a guy who's invisible. It's about this woman who's getting out of this relationship and how it's affected her entire life and how she's having a hard time moving forward even though she knows it's over, hopefully. Everybody in the movie's great. Aldous Hodge, Storm Reed, Harriet Dyer, Oliver Jackson Cohen. I don't want to get into spoilers because I think you should go into this movie. Don't watch any more trailers. Just go see the movie. It's at 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I'm not the only guy out there saying this is a good flick. And there are a few of my favorite reviewers who didn't really enjoy it, and I understand why. Because, again, when you talk about the Invisible Man, you conjure up these images of every Invisible Man movie you've ever seen, and this is absolutely nothing like those Invisible Man movies. But if you're going to take an idea that's 100 years old and modernize it and like, can't call it a reboot because this is still going back to the source material, but if you're just going to take the ideas, take the original story, and then make something new and creative out of it, this is how you do it. The movie was made for $7 million. It looked like it was made for $50 million. It's got great sets. It's got some great cinematography. There are a few plot holes, as there are in just about any movie. You could pick apart a couple of things, but it's really nothing that would detract from the movie, because if you focus on the performance and what's going on with the main character and how she relates to the other characters and how they relate to her, imagine that you're claiming that your ex is not dead and he's invisible and he's stalking you. How people would look at you, that's how they look at her in the movie. Everything makes sense. And I like how it wrapped things up. I really enjoyed the film. It had some good tension. It's very much a psychological thriller. Yes, there's some action. Yes, there are some kills and that kind of thing. But it's more about characters and really good acting, really good directing. It's a good movie. I'm just blown away that Universal took one of their monster properties, and they've done such a terrible job with them so far with movies like The Mummy, that they let Leigh Whannell do something creative and do something interesting and do something different with a property, and you come out with a great movie. Like I said, it was made for $7 million. It's going to shatter that this weekend. Everybody wants to see it. The theater was sold out. Saw it in AMC Dolby Cinema. Looked fantastic. And the sound. There are parts of the movie that are almost completely silent, and you're listening for a breath, a movement, a something. And then there'll be something in the far left back corner, something like that. I mean, the Dolby Atmos surround mix was just stellar. Just the way that a lot of thought went into this movie to make it something different, a different take on the Invisible Man story, and I really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a psychological thriller, almost a Fatal Attraction kind of, Sleeping with the Enemy kind of movie with a touch of the Invisible Man stuff in it, I think you're really going to like this. Everybody in the theater, like I said, it was packed. I think everybody enjoyed it. Walking out, people were buzz, talk. It has a good ending. I can't say enough good things about it. Is it the best movie of the year? No, but it is a hell of a lot better than I ever thought an Invisible Man movie could be. But again, it's not what you expect out of an Invisible Man movie. It is a movie about a woman getting out of an abusive relationship and how it affects her. And that's what it's really about. And as that, it does an incredible job. Go see it. Let me know what you think. I'm Scott Hamilton. I'm ROCKFILE. Wow, early 2020. Got a good movie here. Check it out. It's going to make a lot of money this weekend, I promise you. Please subscribe to the podcast, check out my Patreon page, and have a fantabulous Friday. Thanks for listening.